What's up, everybody? I'm Riley Connors, and I'm from Soundtrak. And today, this is our first episode of the Soundtrak Special Interview Series, where we'll have this on the website, soundtrak.org, as well as a podcast, and it'll probably be on YouTube and some other stuff. I'm here today with my boy, DJ Spicy Ketchup. Famous from the movie Sonic 3 in theaters now. And today, on our first episode, mind you, this is not Spokast, this is Soundtrak, we have with us Chuck Vibes!
Hey!
What's up? What's up?
Let's start off real easy.
Okay.
Real slight. Who is Chuck Vibes from Chuck Vibes?
Who is Chuck Vibes from Chuck Vibes? What is my name? Or
Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do.
I don't really do much. Like, I just make music, you know? I'm just a chill guy. Like, I don't know. I make music, you know? I don't know. I guess I've been through things, so it's cool to put those things in my music and stuff, and that's kind of like what I've put all my main focus in.
I hear that.
Yeah.
And Chuck Vibes to me is a persona that is not only sonic and sound, but it's very visual, right? When you perform live, it's often with face paint. Mm-hmm. Your music videos are very genre specific. I don't know how to phrase that, but it's a visual brand that's very strong. It includes face paint. It includes goth vibes. Is that right to say goth?
Yeah, definitely.
How would you describe your visual aesthetic too?
It's like goth, like grunge-ish, but also like a steezy type of grunge, you know, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like a steezy type of grunge,
I think the best way to describe it is for people to look up Cranberry Soda's music video and to watch it.
Straight up, yeah. You watch that video, it kind of puts that in your head, because I like to talk my shit and kind of pop it in videos, you know, so it's yeah.
And then the live performance too. It's very consistent all the way through.
Yeah, I tried to keep it that way. Of course I got the band, and those guys are fucking great, so they make it easy.
Who are the Dead Feels? Is it Chuck Vibes and the Dead Feels,
yes.
or is it Chuck Vibes and the Dead Feels?
And the Dead Feels. Yeah, those are my boys. I met them back in December in 2023.
Cool.
And I met them at the Checkerboard, went there. I was looking for a band, and we just started chatting, and we decided to have practice a week later, and it sounded dope. And then we just said, okay, keep going. And I think they were already kind of going as the Dead Feels.
Cool.
But yeah, we threw our first little house show last January, and then ever since it's just been crazy.
Are we gonna get a project with the Dead Feels with live drums? Because it's all drum machines on your album and your EP, and
yeah, for the most part, we got one song or maybe two songs on the new EP that are live drums, but the next projects moving forward will all be live drums, and everything will be live and recorded with the band and stuff.
Sick.
Yeah.
You identify as a post-punk artist.
Yeah.
You can feel the dark wave elements. I get Joy Division, Depeche Mode. Antonio Williams is a recent. The drum machines keep it real tight. Yeah. The sparkly guitars. Live, it's more distorted. Mm-hmm. There's often a mosh pit going on. And so when I listen to the music online and I see Chuck Vibes and the Dead Feels, how do I rationalize what I'm seeing on stage with the mosh pits and the high energy with the shoegaze? Is that it has a smooth, creamy vibe online, but then whenever you see it live, it's rowdy.
It honestly, I can't help myself when I get on stage. That's the biggest part about it. So I remember we were practicing, and when we had first practiced, we were doing a lot of those songs similar to how they are on the project and stuff. But then I was like, no, I can't do this. We need to be jumping around, going crazy. I'm not going for it. So that's kind of where that comes from. And then it's that. I feel when you get on stage, that's when you can really just release everything. So that's therapy.
The shirt comes off.
Yeah.
Shirt comes off. Everybody loves the shirt coming off, dude. Adds that extra bit of energy. Chuck, I got a question from a viewer. Is Chuck Vibes short for Charles Vibrations?
Yes, it is. It's short for Charles Vibrations, Charles Vibrato. You can keep going. Like, yeah, it's a lot of names.
A man of many aliases.
many.
So I had the pleasure of seeing you a couple months ago. I believe it was a couple months ago at the For the Razor show at the Big Dipper. You were jumping around with a messed up knee. Yeah. And, you know, I've heard multiple rumors about how you messed up that knee, including but not limited to, I have some notes here, saving orphans from a burning building.
That one sounds the most realistic.
Yeah. Fight training with famous UFC fighter Michael Chiesa. Donating your knee for science. I don't know. That one doesn't sound real because you're still walking around. How was down?
Jumping
back.
16 feet off of Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get to that. Oh, we'll get to that. That's the back half, brother, when we move away from the music. But when you're on stage, right, and you got this energy going, is it kind of like knee be damned? Do you even realize the pain when you're jumping around, or how does that work?
The last show, I did a little bit because like I was kind of like not fresh off of surgery, but like fresh-ish off of surgery. So like I had like a little mic stand behind me that I can hang on to for like balance and stuff. But nah, like I don't think about pain or nothing. Like I'm just going.
Yeah.
Like I kind of forget everything else existed.
That's kind of when I saw you on stage. I was like, that was kind of how I was. When I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't. I am locked in on you because I know everybody goes like, oh, it's a man possessed on stage, right? But for real, it was like I was like, oh, this is a seance kind of thing where it's like you got possessed by the ghost of yourself and you're just going.
Yeah.
And back to his point, it's like listening to. I mean, obviously there's a through line, right? You're still you. It's still the same sound. But it's very interesting when you see someone from their, track that you can listen to in your ears versus what you can see and hear, right? It's, I don't want to say different, but it's just so elevated for a different sort of environment and audience. When you come in, is there kind of like an anxiety that you push through, or is it, I don't know, just you're like, people are here, I'm going to give it everything I got.
Like on stage?
On stage.
I feel like I do get like a bunch of anxiety before the show. Like it'll be weird though. Like I'll have a lot of anxiety up until we're about to go on, and then I don't know, I just kind of forget it. Like once I get up there, it's just whatever. Like it's just time to put on a show.
I like it.
Yeah.
What's your next question? You're the man with all the good questions.
We didn't even mention this, but you have a project coming out this Friday, the 24th.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I made this in Gotham.
I wrote this in Gotham. Yes. I wrote this in Gotham too. Yeah.
Where is Gotham?
Gotham, we're in it. That's how I see it. Like, we're in it right now.
Okay, so when I think about Gotham, I can't help but think the 90s animated Batman series with the white eyes on the mask, very expressive. Is that the Gotham you're talking about? Is it a place of being? Is it like what? How are we in Gotham right now?
Like Spokane just really reminds me of Gotham. Like everything about this city, like it really reminds me of Gotham, and but it reminds me of like the Dark Knight Gotham,
right?
Like that type where it's like kind of like dark and mysterious and stuff. So,
and a lot of your promo leading up to this release and the big show that's coming on Saturday has been shot in alleyways with real stark lighting. You're in the foreground. It's bright on you. It's a grimy alley. Everybody who has lived in Spokane, walked in Spokane, has been in those alleyways. They feel what you're saying. It is. It's grimy. So that's the aesthetic you're going for. It's,
hell yeah.
Say more though. Gotham, no vowels.
Yeah, it's Gotham straight up. It's Gotham.
Yeah. What's your beef with vowels?
I don't know. I don't have any beef. I don't know beef. You gotta ask him.
He points to Chris Martin of Corporate Records, the label daddy, asking what's his beef.
No, it's just like an easy way.
Come up with a way to make it sound.
Yeah, it's like it's like an easy way to put them together.
We had the first EP and he had the new one, so I was trying to figure out a vibe to put out a record. It was like, well, let's do A side, B side, and combine the projects and call them Gotham.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you have a show poster here with you.
Yes,
the aesthetics again. It's.
Can I show this on the camera?
Yeah, show it. Hard to say it's not gothic. There's a giant Taj Mahal looking church at the top.
Yeah.
You're featuring some interesting artists. The lineup is multi-genre. Tell us a little bit about who it is. We know me and Riley both are friends with several of these bands and people in them, but tell us why you chose the lineup. How did you come to this? How is it celebrating I wrote this in Gotham?
Honestly, all three of them, like Spooky, Cruel Velvet, Sin, like they all they just go crazy on stage like that, and I feel like they understand, like even if they're not even doing it like intentionally, they just kind of like understand the feeling of like release, you know, like when you get on stage, you're just kind of giving it your all. Like it doesn't matter if there's 10 people there, if there's 100, you're just gonna go crazy. So that was the biggest thing. I feel like I know they're gonna go crazy, and I love them all too. So that
And we should clarify for the audience that for those who are listening, we'll hopefully have this out before the show, but it's going to be January 25th,
Yes,
which is
sir.
a Saturday. What time's doors?
Doors are at 7.
Doors are at 7.
All
Awesome.
ages in the
All
Jaguar
ages.
room, downstairs of the
Yes, sir.
Chameleon.
We're in the basement. We're in the dungeon.
The dungeon.
The dungeon.
The fun dungeon.
Yeah.
It's going to be going off.
And for clarity, right? Spooky is like a punk thrash band.
Yes.
Cruel Velvet,
Let's say
garage is wrong. Psych.
you could say garage, like psych, like is in that. Yeah.
And then Sin is trap, but
Fucking trap. He really, like, I don't know. I won't even give away. I'll let him give away his secrets. But yeah, he is just a menace. He's a menace.
he's a synesthete after
Yes,
all. He
yeah.
sees the sound.
Yeah.
That is true. He did tell me that.
I want to ask a quick question, Chuck. Having an all ages show, like, how important is that for you and your listeners, your fans, whatever you call them? But like, it seems like that's very important for you, right?
Yeah, because like a lot of my fan base are like young, like super young, like they can't even really go to any of the 21 and up spots, you know. So that's like a really big thing. Is just I want to make sure they're there to enjoy it, you know.
So you heard it here first. Chuck Vibes is for the children.
Which is an interesting question that you bring up, because another band that's for the children, Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
You posted on social media a couple weeks ago that you are not a rapper, that you are a post-punk artist. Chuck Vibes is for the children. Wu-Tang is for the children. Tell us a little bit about it. You identify as post-punk. Set the record straight here on audio, on video.
I have loosened up because I understand, like, I do cover like a lot of places, but like I would like to be like post-punk. Like that's where I feel like I fall in, like especially like the new age post-punk, like, and like I'm like, you guys may not even know them, but like Ecstasy and like Alex Sucks, like bands like that, like I feel like I definitely fall into that. So that's like and like I don't know, it also I just really want to like separate myself from everyone.
It's hard to place your music. When you listen to it,
Yeah.
if you strip out the vocals, it's immediately post-punk. It's immediately, again, new wave, dark wave, whatever you want to call it. Then you put the vocals on, and we were talking about this earlier. There's like a rap cadence to how you sing. You are singing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to be clear, but like, I can see where you get people accusing you of being a rapper. Is how I can feel it. I can see it. I'm not saying I believe it, but
Like I understand it. So I don't even. Yeah, sometimes I'll get in my feelings and I'll just be like, yo, what the fuck? But
the first time, well, I guess we met a while ago in passing. The first time I saw you was at the basement of Lucky You, which is now the Jaguar
yeah,
room.
that was like, what, like 2022?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were rapping at that time.
Yeah.
Trap music, trap beats, I guess. It wasn't trap music, but still guitar, still distorted elements over the top. It wasn't, none of your music like that was online. I think you were performing from your iPhone some of the songs because you were like, this is a new one that nobody's ever heard before.
Yeah.
And already the front of the stage was people moshing, people already inhabiting that space that you truly are in now. So tell us a little bit about the mutation, the evolution, how the Dark Knight rose, if you will, in Gotham.
Come on. Come on. All right.
That's a good one.
Yeah, go on that. All right. Damn it.
It was like a weird and slow transition. Like, I had dropped a song, Tantrum. I think I dropped that like 2021, and I remember that was the only thing I released that year. And it was just because I didn't like. That was when I was starting to realize like I'm making music that it really doesn't. You can't. It's hard to place it in a certain category, so it's hard for me to do certain things with it. Like, so I was already trying to move away, and then Tantrum was like the first song I ever like sung on and put out. So I was like, okay, like that sounds good. Let's keep doing it. So then the songs after that, I would release like more like melodic tracks, like R&B-ish, but like more like pop-ish, I would say. Like it was, I was like doing stuff I like kind of not comfortable doing, but was just trying new stuff. And then 2023, like I remember I was like honestly for the first EP, like I remember I was just scrolling on YouTube one day, and that's how I had found the beat for Coachella, and I was just like, whoa, like that's insane. Like that's like I had never really like I don't know, and it was like a short little beat, like just like a minute long, and like I like doing that. Like I like because you can get it out and it makes people just repeat it, you know. And I don't know, that was kind of like. Yeah, that was once I made Coachella, I knew like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this.
Cool.
Like, I like it. And then I made Cranberry Soda, and after that it was over with. And yeah.
And it is. I mean, you inhabit. Some of your tracks are 45 seconds, a minute and a half. Throwing it back to the Ramones,
I got
the
problems.
CD. But that's punk music from New York, right? 42-second track, over. They play 30 songs in a 30-minute set. Punk music, right? Like, you're really in that space.
Yeah. Thank you. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about. So I had the pleasure of listening to the EP ahead of time, and there's some wild ass titles on there. Pretty referential to a couple things. We got a couple Bobby Zimmerowski, which is from the Goofy movie.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which
Pauly Shore.
Yeah, which if we don't know, yeah,
Leaning Tower of Pisa.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Bobby Zimmerowski. We got Bane and Nightwing dropped. Obviously Gotham, so that's all Batman, right?
Yeah.
We got Dracula, which is. Have you seen Nosferatu yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Still.
Yeah.
I'm slacking big time on that one.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. And
Like it's not like
Count Orlok basically looks like Spicy over here. He's just like,
I get Powder a lot too, honestly.
honestly,
you guys want to
yeah,
talk about
and
that?
It's just a whole movie. Like honestly, without giving too much away, it's just about this dude who's got like a whack ass wife that's really into vampires. And he's just like, I'm going to fuck your wife, and he's like, oh man, I guess I got to deal with that. So yeah, when you get a chance to see it, it's great.
I will definitely be watching that soon.
You got Hardy Boys in there,
Yeah.
which is we talk about wrestling. Also, cranberry soda. I don't think I've ever had a cranberry soda. Is there a brand of cranberry soda you want to plug?
No, I don't know any cranberry soda. I got that because I went to where did I go? I went to the liquor store, and they were selling vapes there, and they had a cranberry soda vape, and I bought the vape, and like I just really liked that, and I was like, okay, cranberry soda. A lot of my titles kind of come from that, like random, just
Vapes?
like.
They all come from vapes.
No, but like they'll come from just random moments, like
What does a Hardy Boys vape taste like, Riley? And
Well,
Chuck?
I don't want to know.
I don't know, sweat and pain,
Broken ladders,
broken ladders,
table dust, just like
the love of brotherhood. I don't know. Yo, let's go on that. Let's talk about wrestling. Are you a big wrestling fan?
I'm a huge wrestling fan. Like way too big of a wrestling fan.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What's your what was your how old were you when you first got introduced to wrestling?
I think I was like 6.
Okay.
Maybe like 7.
Who were the big wrestlers of that era?
I think the first wrestler I ever saw was like John Cena.
Okay.
And you had like Edge, Jeff Hardy, JBL, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. I could really like
Keep going.
like Prime Time, Matt Hardy, Lita, Trish Stratus,
Yeah.
Love of My Life, Batista.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my era is slightly before that. So like I'm a big Bret Hart fan.
The Hitman.
Yeah, the Hitman. I have a pair of Bret Hart shorts that just say Hitman right on the ass. It's fantastic. I wear them all the time.
You got them at Victoria's Secret.
I wish I did. Oh my gosh, could you imagine that collab? Bret Hart, the best punch thrower puts on a clinic, right? But yeah, when you think about wrestling, how does that translate? Is it kind of like into your artistry, like persona versus, you know, energy? How do you take kind of the influences of wrestling from growing up as a kid into what you do on stage now?
Definitely like the gimmicks and the characters and stuff. Like I feel like that's a big thing I take from wrestling. Like just knowing how they'll go about like storytelling and things like that. I try to put that into like making a project or just making a song. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I have different like identities kind of in a way. Like, you know, like I feel like I could be Bruce Wayne in his house, you know. I could be like the Joker, you know, going crazy. Like it just kind of depends, and like that's like character, you know. I don't know how to explain that.
No, I get it. Yeah, you're not gonna be Mr. Freeze
No.
and be like, my wife is frozen. I'm doing this. You're not gonna be the Scarecrow being like, your fears are reality. And let me ask you, quick couple of serious wrestling questions.
Okay.
Gold Dust. Are you familiar with Gold Dust?
Dust.
Yes. Do you think Gold Dust was ahead of his time?
Huh. That's interesting. I've never thought about that. Like in terms of what?
Just so Gold Dust for the viewer and the listener.
Google
Gold
this.
Dust is one of the
Paints his
Rhodes
face,
family. Yeah,
comes
is-
out with the wig.
Yeah, is one of the Rhodes siblings, right? So Cody Rhodes, his brother, and his whole gimmick was he had face paint, kind of like a more flamboyant, and his thing was he was like, "Is he gay?"
That was like basically the
Yeah,
thing.
is he gay? But I actually, unironically, as a kid, without understanding that angle, Goldust was one of my favorite wrestlers as a kid because I was like, he just looks so
Yeah, he looks
cool.
sick.
Yeah, I saw a match once where he got kicked into some kind of electrical box, and I was like, I just watched a man die on television.
That's crazy.
Yeah, another one. I'm a big Mick Foley guy as well. We were talking about Hell in a Cell earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's next level. But yeah, it's interesting when you talk about personas, right? Where it's like it's always just like an extension of self, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that? I'm trying to phrase this question right. Like, do you find that there's kind of like a perception versus reality of Chuck vibes that you want to have corrected, or are you just like take me as I am and fuck you?
I don't know. Maybe like some people probably think I'm an asshole because like I don't say much, but like I'm really like the chillest person ever. I just have like anxiety and stuff, so like I'm kind of like a watcher, you know. Like I guess that would be the only thing. Like other than that, I don't really care. Like like see me for what you want to see me. Like, you know.
Have you ever considered bringing crotch chops, Generation X style, like on stage?
Yeah. I do the X thing, you know. I'll do that. Fuck. I want to bring like a lot of wrestling things and incorporate that onto stage. I just gotta think of better ways to do it.
Well, I'll be at your show on the 25th. If you want to just fling yourself at me from stage,
Yeah.
we can do it. I'll fall in a way that won't hurt me.
Okay, bet.
Bring
I'll do
some
a
blood
swanton
tablets.
off the stage.
Oh yeah, just tape a razor to my head. Just Chuck, how could you do this to me? Let's talk about Batman. We talked earlier about, you know, you're kind of a fan of these types of characters. What is it about Batman that you like?
I just really like. I feel like that a lot of the times. Like, just like, kind of. Like I feel like Batman is just. How do I put that into words? Like he's just kind of like trapped in his own. Like it's portrayed like he's trapped in his own little like hell or his own like personal thing that goes on, but then he puts the mask on and like, you know, he fights crime and he's trying to like make Gotham like a better place, but then he goes back to his house and like, you know, he's like literally in the dungeon just down and out. Like I don't know, I just relate to that, like just the way just the way his character is portrayed. I guess I relate more to Bruce Wayne, but yeah, definitely.
Do you have a favorite Batman sidekick?
Ooh.
Because you do reference
Nightwing.
Nightwing on the track.
Wu was originally Robin, so that's actually a bit of
Yeah,
a conflicting because he was the first.
Nightwing's cooler than Robin.
Of course.
But if we're talking Teen Titans, like if it's that Robin, then yeah, I might have to go with Robin.
Okay.
I might have to go with Robin. But he has to be like Teen Titans Robin.
Do you have a favorite Batman villain?
Joker. Off rip. But I
And
feel like
on your video, Cranberry Soda, you sort of do
that was the crow.
the crow.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God. Riley's looking at me disappointed. Chuck is nodding in disapproval.
I'm looking
with
at you just
Riley.
because you're so beautiful, man.
That's exactly what's happening. That was the crow. Okay.
Yeah, that was the crow.
Famous Lee.
Yeah.
So it's the crow.
There's been
Say
like
more.
5 of them. Yeah.
Oh well. See.
Yeah, but only like the first one, and I think maybe the second is good. Like the remakes are trash, and the
Yeah.
newest one is really trash.
I haven't seen the newest one. I saw the original one, and then I saw the second one, which is City of Angels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically like The Crow in L.A. So
Yeah. That's
I don't get out much.
Yeah,
dude.
you saw the first Nosferatu. You saw the second Nosferatu.
I've seen the first Nosferatu. Have you seen it? Like the silent film?
Way back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been years. All I remember is there was really dramatic like orchestra music.
Yeah.
With like subtitles. But
It's weird as shit.
it is weird.
When you take all these different influences, right? Do you feel like you're like, how can I? Is it producing it like an idea of those influences, or are you just like those ideas through yourself, right? So it's like your feeling of Batman, wrestling, or whatever out in the world, or are you just like, I want people to clearly understand that this is what I'm referencing? Because you also have another song called Adam Sandler Movies,
Yeah.
which is just like hilarious. Oh, again,
It's giving Happy Gilmore.
what's your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Ooh.
Is he about to say click?
Ooh. No, that's up there though. Like I think it's Waterboy. It might be Waterboy or Happy Gilmore's up there too. Billy Madison.
That's my favorite.
Do you remember when Bobby Boucher showed up to the halftime of the Bourbon Bowl and the Mud Dogs won the game?
I love Billy. I love Billy Madison. It's still my favorite one because it's just the funniest premise. Could you imagine going to like a high school and there's just like some rich dude that is like early 30s that's there?
Yeah.
He's like,
That
I'm
one's
just learning
ridiculous.
math. some grown ass man throwing dodgeballs at kids.
It's an interesting question though, because Hardy Boys, right? You've changed your face paint. It's the first time you're really wearing bright colored face paint. You have
Yeah.
the eyes painted on your eyelids. Like,
Yeah.
are you channeling a singular force after you put it all together, or are you sort of taking Polaroids of all your influences and holding them up to the light? Like, how do you view it?
I think it's just like another way of like expressing myself. Like when I'm making the song names, I'm never really thinking like, oh, I hope someone gets like the reference, because sometimes it won't even make any sense. Like, but yeah, like I started, because Jeff Hardy will paint his face, but he does it like differently. Like he's the one who first did the eyelids. Like I got that from him, but like I figured paint one side like, you know, with the bright colors and stuff, and paint the other side like all white with just black in there, so you can't even really see the eye, because it's like this side is kind of like, you know, this is like the dark side. You're still kind of held in by certain things, but this is like the all-seeing eye, if that makes sense. Like you can kind of, you know, like I don't know how to explain that better.
Yeah, in your bio, you have a quote that says, "These life struggles come out in my music. It's melancholy but upbeat.
Yeah.
A lot of these songs are about finding myself." And it sounds like
Yeah.
you're almost describing that in the
Yeah.
same way with the face paint.
Yeah, literally that.
Taking those last two questions, you know, about like taking influences visually and then also expressing yourself. Have you ever considered maybe going back to 3rd grade like Billy Madison?
Oh,
I probably would though, like just to see what's up. Like, what are these kids learning?
truly one of the interviewers of our generation.
I mean, if Barbara Walters is dead, somebody has to fill that spot. So, talking about Cranberry Soda, right? I hear a line in there about your dad, and as much as I want to get into that stuff, you know, this isn't the therapy hour. Let's talk about Thought Mama. Can we talk about Thought Mama?
There's a phone call in the music video near the beginning, 20 seconds in. Thought Mama is calling. What does she say when you pick up the phone?
She's just yelling the whole time because I definitely did something I probably shouldn't have done. But I probably told her I loved her, but I only knew her for like 2 weeks, and then I stopped talking to her. I did something definitely just horrible, just horrible.
Riley, I don't want to draw too many parallels with your lives and Chuck's, but
What do you mean? This is my twin right here. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Men with big hearts and complicated lives? Come on.
It'd be like that.
Look at these two guys. Yeah.
Dynamic duo.
What's your other question? You got another question about music? My questions are literally, I just write down just like Dracula.
I had another one prepared. So I've been, as a middle-aged white man, I've been getting into psychoanalysis. And so Jacques Lacan says all sorts of things in life, in this world, behave like mirrors. And I was going to ask, how does Thought Mama act as a mirror? But you sort of answered that question outright. So that one is checked off the list.
I was going to ask if like Thought Mama's a real person or if Thought Mama's just like an idea.
No, like there are a few of those that exist. So there are like thought mamas that are real, but that one in particular was not real. So we didn't actually have a thought mama calling, not during that moment.
Love it. Love it. Back to the wrestling. I'm going to jump ahead. So you are releasing this project on Friday. You're doing a merch bundle. You're starting with a vinyl release, A-side, B-side. I want to hear a little bit about the A-side, B-side, but like you're sort of checking a bucket list item for many musicians, which is to have pressed vinyl that's in the world.
It's cool as fuck.
It's cool. It's big format. Tell us a little bit about that. Also, the merch bundles are sick. Again, from the comic book villain wrestling, their giant teeth on one of your shirts that says Chuck Vibe. Like it feels very much in that same universe of larger than life and like expressing. Tell us about what it means to be pressed on vinyl, the A side and the B side, because it's sort of two projects but one, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like to be honest, like that's like one of the coolest things that's ever happened. Like that's like badass because not a lot of artists like get the chance to like do that. You know, like they don't get that. So that's cool. Like yeah, and like. Yeah, it's cool. Like it's just really cool.
It's
like,
so sick. And the vinyl is like a colored vinyl, right? Like it's
yeah.
Tell us about it. How'd you choose that? You work with Corporate Records. Chris, label daddy sitting right here. Yeah. He's about to DDT you if you don't drop the love. That's Diamond Dallas Taylor for the non-wrestling.
Oh, you think I don't know? You think I don't know?
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah. But it's a colored vinyl. Tell us a little bit about it. You have merch bundles. Tell us a little bit about how did you design the merch? Again, it's an extension of your visual identity.
We just sat down, like me and Chris, and we just talked about it. And yeah, like it all just kind of worked. I don't know. Like there wasn't like, I don't know. It was like my first time doing like any of that type of stuff. So it's hard to say. Like honestly, it's really hard to say.
It's ambitious. Visually, you have hats, you have multiple shirts. Again, the vinyl is incredible. Do you want to hold it up for the YouTube? For the YouTube. Smash the subscribe button for the YouTube. Cool.
It's like special edition.
All white and black.
Yeah.
Distressed. There's bats on it. Matches the hat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can't see, but producer Brennan is wearing a Chuck Vibes
Yeah.
and the Dead Feels hat.
Shout out the Deads.
Shout out the dead.
It's very cool. Producer Brennan right there wearing the hat.
I'm glad I'm just producer Brennan.
Well, I mean, we can't have you sitting here. It's just too much sexy for one podcast.
That's true.
Tell us, you got signed to Corporate as part of this project, I think. Tell us a little bit about that journey. How did you guys link up? Was it one of the shows at the Big Dipper when you were playing a multi-genre show? How did you guys first meet? What was the spark there?
I think it was it at the Chameleon? Yeah, he came to, we had a show at the Chameleon, and like, I just remember I talked to him, like, I won't lie, I was drunk, but like, I remember like, we had a conversation, and then like, we just planned to get together and meet up, and yeah, like it was really cool, and we sat down and talked, and like, he's cool, and like, it was really cool to like, be a part of the label and stuff, and like, the artists on it, and yeah, it was sick.
It's sick. Yeah. Taking over the world. Seattle, Portland, Spokane. Go ahead, Riley. You gave me the nod.
I gave you the nod.
I don't want to be, what is it? Not a mark. What's the word? The wrestling term for
jabroni?
Is it a mark?
Yeah, it's a mark.
I don't want to be the mark.
Jabroni.
Jabroni.
How does it feel to have like a label behind you that supports you the way Corporate does?
It feels good, like especially because like for like a long time, like it was really just me having to do everything. And like I don't know shit about anything, so like
it's a lyric.
So it's like that's like the coolest part. Is just having like the support and like help, you know. Because I don't know anything.
You know what? Can I ask you about your spaceman tattoo?
Yeah, what's up?
Just tell me about it.
I'm just big on space, and like again, it's like another thing of just like I was, just I'm always trying to find myself, so it's like just like another thing. Like I'm big into space. Like I used to when I was younger, I used to always say like I just want to drift away. Like I would get mad and like I'd be like I just want to drift away into space and like just float into the fucking black hole or whatever. Like so, that's kind of where like a lot of like the space stuff on my face comes from. Like just feeling kind of alienated and stuff.
2 questions on space. 1, do you think Pluto should be a planet again?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I do.
you heard it here.
That's discrimination.
Yeah, and throw out the D word. Dangerous territory here. And second question: do you think that's based on what you just said about going and like drifting into space and going into black holes? Do you think that's why NASA has never considered you to be an astronaut? They think they would never get the ship back.
Yeah, they might consider me what some would call a crash out, and it probably wouldn't be the best to send me off into space because I might get overwhelmed over like the smallest thing, and then there goes the spaceship.
Do you have a favorite space movie?
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's just sick. Like I don't even know. Like I've had to watch it like 10 times to really understand it, but I just like what goes into it and the imagery and stuff.
What's your favorite scene besides Matthew McConaughey crying, just right, straight, deadpan into the camera?
seen Interstellar?
That scene is cringy. I'm not gonna lie.
The books falling off the shelf, like.
I feel like my favorite scene is probably because water, the ocean scares me to death. So like when they go to the one planet that's just water,
The tidal wave.
and like every I think it was every time there's a ticking noise, it's like a day on Earth or something like that. So like they're there for like 2 minutes or whatever, and like it's ticking the whole time, and then they look back and there's this huge wave coming at them and stuff, and then one of them gets left behind. Like that's my favorite scene. That scene was sick.
The devastation.
The devastation.
Time is relative. Question for you. Spokane music scene. We're on the rebuild after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Whether or not you acknowledge it exists is a different story. Who in the Spokane music scene do you think is really doing something great? Who do you think doesn't get enough credit? What's the current status of the Spokane music scene from Chuck Vibes?
I think things are fucking booming. Like
Booming.
It's booming right now. It's booming season.
Speaking of wrestlers, Big Justice and AJ.
Sorry about your dead brother. That gets 5 big boos.
I couldn't resist. But who's booming? Who's inspiring you? Who's parallel to you? What shows are you going to that you're loving right now that you're saying it's booming?
Like just one artist?
Couple. You don't have to pick your favorite.
Hell, I mean, even just Sin, like that's like he's a maniac, bro. Like just like because me and him recently just did some work. Like I won't say too much, but we did some work recently, and like like that really inspires me. He did like some cool things. We tried to mesh the worlds and stuff, and like he did some cool things on the song, and like Jang, of course. Like even like a lot of the younger bands, like I really love. I hope I don't butcher this name, but what is it, like Atomisk?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, like I really love them. I feel like like it's hard to say who's not getting like enough looks right now, because everyone is kind of like, I'm seeing like a lot of shows popping off and stuff. Like everyone's kind of getting good looks. Like I'll shout out Kid Judo. Like he's always been a dog. Brant Dimitri, he's just recently starting to put out music, but he's like one, I think like it's one to watch for real.
He's very nice.
Yeah.
I had the chance to meet him recently.
Brant. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Low key energy, that guy.
Yeah. Very low key energy. Very. Me and him recorded some stuff like a while ago, and like, remember he showed me, and I was like, bro, what? Like, you make this? Like, I was kind of shocked because I met him like a couple years ago. like around the time that you seen me at the Lucky You, like is when I met him. So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's a good look.
Yeah. With that question, like, where can you see room for improvement? What would you like to see change in the scene or grow in the scene?
I guess like just more emphasis on shows, like, you know, like making like all these shows feel like a bigger deal, like because it's kind of like a culture that's like starting here, you know, so just I feel like tapping more into like the cultural aspect and just like like just making everything kind of feel bigger, you know. Like, I don't really know how to explain that. Because, I mean, there's been, like, I feel like, especially last year, there's, like, a lot of good things that have been happening. So, like, it's hard to say that there needs to be, like, a whole lot of improvement. But, like, yeah, I think just, like, putting, like, a bigger emphasis on...
like production value, the image of the bands, not just playing great music, but, like, playing
like,
the part.
Yeah, literally, like just playing the part. And I think some of that is also on the artists, like, themselves, too, like, you know, like, promotion and stuff. But yeah, I think just giving this scene... like just a bigger look, like, you know, a lot of times like there would be like, and like it makes sense, but there will be like bigger artists from like other places that come out here, and it obviously gets like a way, you know, bigger look. But if we use that same energy to like promote like some of the shows here, like,
right,
we could go crazy, you know.
Have you done much touring at all?
No, not yet. Like, I'm working on it.
Label Daddy Chris Martin with the shrug pointing right at Chuck.
working on it. Like we're doing Tree Fort this year.
Let's
and,
go. Congrats.
Tri-Cities will hit that too.
Nice.
And then like I'm still working on like a few other places, but this year it's going to be something like that.
First show in Portland, first show in Seattle. Is that the goal?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I performed in Portland or in Eugene like way back, like probably right before the pandemic. Like I think it was March 2020 I went out there, but I was still rapping, so it was like a different vibe. But yeah, I definitely want to fucking just get out of here and do more shows and tour and stuff. Like, that would be, that's the move.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, Tree Fort. I'll be excited. We may be there.
Ooh.
Do you have, you know, you mentioned the gimmicks of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have gimmicks planned for Tree Fort? Are you cooking on something to like make a scene?
Kinda. I have to know more, like, as far as where they're gonna put us and stuff, like, cause what I want to do in my head, like, it might be like too crazy, like, but like, yeah, like sometimes I want to like really bring ladders on stage and like jump off of ladders, like that's the stuff that really goes through my head, but
yeah.
I can't do those things yet, so I have to.
It's Idaho. They have no laws.
It is Boise. They have a few.
Okay. Put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig.
No,
Yeah.
why not?
Cute pig.
Yeah.
Ladders.
Yeah, true.
I will say, when I saw you at the district, there is no room for a ladder on that stage.
There was
I was
no room.
so worried you were going to suffer a concussion as you were jumping around.
I wanted to climb the thing, but I didn't even think about it. And then I seen Jang do it, and I was like, "Oh, fucking wow!" Like I should have thought about that. Like that would have been sick.
Yeah,
that would have been sick.
Jang's aerodynamic. Like he's got, I don't know if he's got like hollow bones or something, but that kid can throw himself around like crazy.
He really does. I'd be like, "Damn, bro."
Yeah, when I saw you for the first time, not too super long ago, you know, watching the pit evolve right there, I was worried for you guys. There were some kids out there wiling out.
Yeah.
I saw this like I imagine he was probably over 18, but I saw this like 14-year-old looking white kid who was shirtless, and I thought he was gonna die.
That's the guy that looked like Sid from Toy Story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your boy?
Some kid rocked his shit pretty good.
But that's my guy.
Yeah, some kid rocked his shit pretty good.
He
and
had
I-
a pearl necklace
yeah.
on, shirtless, with Supreme boxer briefs
Yeah.
and baggy jeans.
Yeah.
And him and his crew, they would like approach each other in the pit, and then they would like fake punch each other,
Yeah, like,
take the
that's
other guy to the ground and
My
ground and
favorite
pound.
thing they did it at I don't know if they did it at. They probably did do it at For the Ragers. I don't remember, but they
It
did
was.
last year at they'll like have everyone back up, and like it'll just be two of them, and like whoever's on stage will be like the rep. So they're just like doing all this shit, and then they'll just crash into each other like and just go maniac. They'll tackle each other on the ground like.
It looks like that stage in Tekken 2 where they have the street fight stage where all the people are standing in the background and they're two approaching each
really
other.
is what it looks like.
And it's like some cross between Lamb of God's Wall of Death and like Tekken 2 street fighting.
Yeah.
Because after a big one, they will all approach each other and ground and pound, all 5 of them fake punching and curb stomping the guy on the ground.
It's incredible. And it's funny when you see the doorman, the bouncer there. He stands there and he looks and you can see his eyes get progressively big as he's
filled
trying
with
to
joy.
figure out what the situation's like. And yeah, no, that's always funny. Real quick,
The kids are going to be okay.
Yeah.
The kids are going to be okay.
Real quick side note. I don't know how it tapped in here, but I saw a headline that was saying that for the most recent Tekken game, they were trying to convince them to have Waffle House as a stage.
That would be hilarious, and I support it fully 1,000%.
Yeah.
I hope they do that.
Well, so they bring it back to the creator, who's obviously some Japanese guy. I don't know if they have Waffle Houses out in Japan, maybe a franchise opportunity. And he was like, I do not understand this. I do not understand what the appeal of it is, but I was like, I would buy
He's
it.
got to go to Atlanta for a week.
I was going to say, if you go to
Go
the,
to
I'm from
Atlanta
the
for a
South.
week.
Waffle House, you could smoke indoors as recently as 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I've pulled into Waffle Houses and the police have turned me away at the door. So
Yeah, it's pretty good.
it's not a joke.
When they stop letting you smoke indoors, they had to fly flags at half mast afterwards. The world changed. We used to be a real proper country.
We used to be a society.
Can I ask you a couple of like quick other wrestling questions? Because wrestling, I can't talk to many people about wrestling.
Bro,
One-
You
can
guys
ask me
should start
anything
your
about
own
wrestling.
podcast about wrestling.
Bro,
No, dude, we'll just talk out in the street like street preachers, dude. That's the way to do it.
Tom,
just go to everyone's door.
I'm here to talk to you today about.
mankind.
Yeah. He used to be Buddy Love, and then he was Cactus Jack, and then Mankind appeared.
And then Travis Scott took over Cactus Jack. But keep going. Ask your
I
wrestling
know, which
questions.
is just like ridiculous, you know?
Which is
Yeah, Travis Scott. I'm getting tired of celebrities using wrestling as their crutch. You weren't watching it as a kid. I can tell. Stop doing it.
Do you think
real
you,
fan?
Would you, if you were ever in a hypothetical scenario, either in like a local indie scene, or you know, if Blue Sky thinking here, like you got an opportunity as your rep grows, would you do wrestling,
Bro.
like celebrity wrestling?
Absolutely.
Do you have a special move?
I would
you have a
steal
special
all
move?
of Jeff Hardy's. I'm not gonna cap. Like I'm doing the Twist of Fate, the Swanton, the Whisper in the Wind, and I can do all those moves perfectly. Like that's the thing. Like that was my first dream when I was a kid to be a wrestler. So like I would 1,000% do some wrestling. And like my bassist Schmeigs, he's a wrestler. So like I've got to go out to his shows and like it's so fun being around the culture and stuff.
he's like an amateur wrestler.
Like yeah, like a pro
Legitimate.
wrestler. Yeah. Like he has Northwest Pro in Seattle. Yeah. So right now he's in Texas training with Goldust.
With Gold Dust.
Yeah, he's at Goldust's school as we speak.
One of the
I'm
greatest.
the greatest interviewer.
I will say, my wife and I were out of town one time, and we were in Nelson, BC.
Yeah.
Have you ever been? No. Canada, Nelson, BC, one of the most
Never
underrated
been to
cities in the world. And we were trying to find something to do on Friday night, and I forget what it's called, Thrash. That seems right. They had an amateur wrestling night,
Yeah.
and it was sold out. And we managed to get tickets at the door, and we sat in the front row. And that was one of the greatest dates that we've ever been on in our entire life. There was 8-year-old kids sitting in front of us, and we were like shaking their chairs whenever the dude would get.
Yeah.
It was electric.
I love being at those indie shows. Like because it's different. Like if you go to like a big show like Raw or SmackDown, like it's still fun, but like it's more so for TV, you know. So like it's not that fun. But when you're at the indie shows, like they play with the crowd more. Like
Right.
guys will dive into the crowd. Like it gets crazy.
One of the wrestlers looked at this little 8-year-old kid and was like, "You want some next?" And the kid was like, "No!"
Yeah, I love when they do that.
I love seeing like amateur wrestling or local indie scenes. There was one out of Chicago. There's a guy, I don't know if you've seen, it's kind of making the rounds, a guy named Stephen Flo. Have you seen that?
Stephen Flo.
Now-
Steven
Yeah,
Flo.
no, that's it.
No, I
He
know.
dresses like Eddie Vedder from the Even Flow video. And
That's real.
Yeah, and they use, and his whole bit is he's a grunge guy, and his theme song is just them just being like, Steven Flo. And I was like,
No,
get him on.
No, it's not Steven Flo. It's Steven Flo.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
Oh,
And then-
shit.
no, that's awesome.
How do you
So-
sing even flow and not know? You said Steven Flo with no cadence, with no melody, as
Hey,
if we would have known what you
I'm
were
not the music guy here.
Clearly.
Clearly, I can't carry a tune. I tried to play piano to get women to notice me, and it's going really bad, dude. It just sits in my apartment.
Shout out Break Braley.
Yeah, shout out Blake Braley. Plays great music.
Piano.
Yeah. What do you feel about Raw going to Netflix?
It's cool. It's badass to see. Like, it kind of feels weird, like, because I've been watching it on like USA Network forever, so it's kind of weird. But like it's growing. It's way more popular now. So like, yeah, like it's cool. It's cool. Like I watched the whole show. Shout out Roman Reigns.
Hulk Hogan getting booed.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my
Long
life.
deserved, dude.
Oh my god, like that was so funny.
Bust ass loser.
And he was trying to play it off too. He's like he tried to switch to talking about like a pay per view or something, and they still booed. Like, yeah, bro, shut up.
The new U.S. ambassador for wrestling.
I was going to say, I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
happen.
Look, the inauguration's tomorrow. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about Hulk Hogan anymore.
Yeah.
He's been my go-to Halloween costume. I cut up a red T-shirt and I wear it as like a
Well, that makes
skull
sense.
cap.
You got the fucking mustache.
That's exactly it. It's the
Yeah.
easiest one. You go buy a dollar store pair of sunglasses. You cut off some sleeves and you're there.
You could be who's the guy from Sonic?
Oh,
Dr.
Dr. Robotnik.
yeah.
It's
Eggman.
every week I say this to him. It's either like Count Orlok, this is Sonic 3.
It's just, it's my struggle. For those who can't see me, close your eyes and visualize for a second Dr. Robotnik from Sonic and Jim Carrey. Yeah, that's it. That's what,
Except instead of talking about rings and Chaos Emeralds and how much he hates hedgehogs, he's like, let me ask about your sparkly guitars.
some twinkly.
Yeah.
What? So this project is great. We got the chance to listen to it in advance. The A side, the B side. Obviously, the A side's already out. Or
Yeah,
and
I
then
dropped that one in 2023.
and you said there's 2 songs on the B side that have live drums.
Yeah.
And you said that that's coming. After this project, you're going to ring it out. You're doing Treefort. You're doing some other shows around town. What's the plan for the rest of 2025? How are you thinking about it? We could talk about wrestling for what seems like eons. I'm the odd man out here, but I'll let you guys tag team that a little later.
The biggest thing I
Come on, dude.
that was a good one.
Dream team.
That's facts. That's facts. The biggest thing I want to do is just do more shows out of town.
Cool.
Maybe do like a small tour. Like this summer, that'd be sick to do like a little tour. Maybe even drop another project. Like we recorded so much music, it's ridiculous. So yeah,
Cool.
Like just to get more music out. Yeah.
Your
that's-
recording setup, do you record at home or do you record at a studio?
I record at Sam. That's my drummer. I record at his house. He produces all the songs. Like he makes all the beats and stuff. Like everything on the B side, like the new EP. We'll go to his place, or he'll send me a beat, and like I'll just be like, okay, bro, this is fire. I'll have something next time we meet up. But most time, like he'll make a beat, and we'll be in the studio just cooking up, and like I start writing as he's like adding drums and shit, and like for some reason I don't know how, but it just kind of works out in the end. Like I'm not even like I never, unless he sends me the beat and I'm at home, I never even write to it as like as a full beat. I build it with him as he goes.
So another thing you talked about, and this was on some of your Instagram stories and whatnot, is I'm gonna butcher this because I'm just trying to call this off of memory. You talk about like it's kind of your way of getting your demons out, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like every project you're getting more and more out, and there will be a point where it's kind of like you're
just a
talking about
bedroom
your
pop artist?
Yeah, yeah. you get all your demons out, and then
Life
you turn
is
into
just good.
Shabuzi. Yeah.
Shabuzi is not bedroom pop, but we'll give it to you.
Yeah, that was not even. That was crazy.
I'm stuck on that name, dude.
Out of pocket.
When do we go from Degeneration X to Gold Dust? That's really what he's trying to say.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
I have to get him with the curveball, dude. I had that one in my back pocket.
Shabuzi?
I don't know, man. Can you imagine coming
When do you start making country?
that's the next step where you just get all the demons out and you're just like, what do I do now? It's a country.
It's going to be corporate, but it's more like corporate.
I don't know. Like I feel like I kind of release them in like all my songs in a way. So like, just depending on where we go. Like, yeah, like been in Gotham for a while, so who knows where we'll be after Gotham.
Metropolis?
I was going to say that.
Metropolis sucks.
All my homies
No
hate
offense.
Metropolis.
No offense. Metropolis sucks.
Ooh. Why?
Because it's all nice and not grungy looking and stuff.
You know, I quoted Jacques Lacan earlier, and what he says is the reason we love things is because they're flawed, and that actually the thing that we love the most is something that is almost perfect, but has some big defect to it, which is Gotham, right?
Yeah.
Gotham is. It is Metropolis at night, I think, right? They're both New York City.
More or less.
I guess they both are New York City.
In the Zack Snyder Batman movie, like the one that came out.
Oh, the worst one?
Yeah, they showed. He had a kind of an interesting idea where he showed that basically like Gotham and Metropolis are separated by a river. So it's actually one of the only ideas from that
New
movie.
Jersey.
That-
So
Yeah.
Gotham is New Jersey?
So yeah, basically.
That actually kind of adds
Or
up.
is it Brooklyn and...
It was more Oakland
like
versus
Brooklyn.
San Francisco. Like so Metropolis was more like San Francisco. Gotham was more like Oakland. That was kind of the idea.
Brooklyn and Manhattan, perhaps?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at Brooklyn now. I mean, it's a little bit different than it
It's a
used to be.
little
But
bit
yeah,
more like
same
Metropolis.
concept, right? Where it's like similar but different. So yeah, you're not going to Metropolis.
No, not anytime soon. I don't. Me and Superman don't get along. Ever since,
Song title.
yeah, like we had a falling out, so I just can't go to Metropolis. It's not cool. There's no Joker. I don't even know what I would do fighting like those goblins. Like they might eat me. So I'll stay in Gotham.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So is there anything else coming up that I know we kind of already touched on this, but is there anything coming up beyond this, or is everything just kind of in the planning stages?
A lot of things right now, I guess, are just in the planning stages. Like this has kind of been what we've been working towards, so it's gonna feel good to like get the project out and also do the show. Like it'll feel good to do all that, and then like my mind will probably start. It's already racing, but it'll start like really racing right after that. Like and just figuring out what the next move is, and yeah.
Great. Well, I think we're kind of hitting our time, and so any like last questions you got?
No, I will say I appreciate it. I had no idea that I would be outmatched in wrestling. I only remember watching it back in the WWE Raw days in the 90s.
Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era. Rey Mysterio was some crazy stuff. I just listed every wrestler I knew in that one sentence, which is Rey Mysterio.
What about you, Brennan? What about you? You got any questions?
Oh shit.
No, I just would love to have you shout out like where we can find you, like people that really supported you. Like this, take a moment to like just thank everyone.
Anybody who wears
Yeah.
your hats, if you wanted to like
You don't
give them a
have to, you
shout
gotta
out.
thank me.
Yeah, you can find me. It's at Chuck Vibes, literally everywhere you do stuff. So yeah, on Instagram, Chuck Vibes, Spotify, Chuck Vibes. I'm on all the platforms, streaming platforms. Yeah, shout out Corprat. Shout out like everyone, like shout out to Dead Feels, like everyone that's kind of like supported me like in 2024, like because that was like a rough year, like so yeah, like shout out, yeah, like it feels good to be here. Like shout out you guys, like thank you for like
Hey, thank you.
inviting me and stuff. And, yeah.
Of
course.
course. We're happy to have you.
Riley's just glad that he has a friend that will talk wrestling with him now. He actually told me this was a long con. We haven't been recording this entire time. This was just Riley getting together to talk
I'm
wrestling.
gonna make Chuck Vibes my best friend. Yeah. Spice, you should listen to more. You should read up more on wrestlers, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
imagine you'll have plenty of
You
wrestlers.
gotta
to
start watching Raw.
So
It's
what
on
I will tell
Netflix.
you is this: before you got in here, my hometown is the Von Erichs' hometown.
Oh,
So North Dallas, Hickory
That's actually
Creek,
cool.
Lake Dallas, the Von Erichs were born there, raised there, and so we were chatting the Iron Claw and the Von Erichs.
that movie is so sad.
Haven't seen it yet.
So, yeah, they left some stuff out.
They did.
He
Yeah, we'll talk more
knows.
about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say this guy's an encyclopedia like knowledge of the 80s and 90s
Well,
of
I
wrestling.
love that Dark Side of the Ring series.
Yeah.
So that helped, and then I read a book on it because reading. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers you could probably get into, like, you know, Jimmy Snuka or Brian Pillman or Chris Benoit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Brock Lesnar.
I think you'd love Chris Benoit.
Yeah, I bet you'd love Chris Benoit.
Brock
Honestly,
Lesnar.
I bet you could use Chris Benoit's opening music in one of your upcoming tracks. Dude.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, you should
think that would
absolutely
be,
do that.
Like, if you did that, that would be so sick. Like, I think people would like it, and they'd be very proud of you for doing that.
Yeah, it'd be really brave.
I feel like I'm the butt of a joke right now that I don't understand.
No, absolutely
Not at
not.
all.
Well, anyway.
Anyway, the Dungeon of Death, Chris Benoit and the Hart family
Okay,
curse.
we're gonna probably cut here while he figures that out.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Chuck. We
thank
appreciate
you to Chuck Vibes, and yeah, thank you for sitting through the first episode of the Soundtrak Interview Series. Whatever we wind up calling this, it will probably change. But yeah, Chuck Vibes, thank you so much. Hey, those of
Project drops this Friday, which
Yes.
is the 24th. The show's the 25th at the Chameleon downstairs, all ages.
Spokane, Washington.
Spokane.
Yeah.
Chuck Vibes, Spooky, Cruel Velvet, Prod Synesthete. It's going to be a hell of a night.
We are gonna kill that shit. I cannot wait. Get your tickets now. Order them online. They're cheaper online. And yeah, hope to see everyone there.
Amazing.
All right, thank you, everybody. Signing off. Chuck Vibes is for the children.
For the children.
Chris Benoit murdered his wife.
Gotcha, bitch.